Welcome to the Grand Prix, your go-to channel for the quickest Formula One updates. We have 3 exciting stories for you. To remain ahead of the competition, subscribe and click the notification bell. Let's begin. Tell me your thoughts on Gabriel Bortolito's debut as a Formula One driver. Did you think he did well, or did you have higher expectations? The Brazilian driver finished 174 laps around the circuit, earning valuable track time and collecting important data for his team. However, he faced some technical difficulties along the way, especially on the last day of testing. These setbacks slightly interrupted his program, but they weren't enough to deter the young driver's enthusiasm. After testing, Bortolito stayed positive and talked about his experience in an interview. Looking back on his first official Formula One test, Bortolito expressed his happiness with the team's efforts and his own development. The Brazilian also acknowledged the surreal nature of his quick ascent to the pinnacle of motorsport, admitting that the reality of competing in his first Formula One Grand Prix still felt almost unbelievable. It doesn't feel real, to be honest, knowing that in just 2 weeks I'll be lining up for my first F1 race. Time is passing so quickly, and the excitement is building. These were 3 very good days of testing, or more specifically, 1.5 days for me because I had some disruptions, but for the team, it was 3 full days of valuable running. I'm happy with what we managed to achieve, and we have a lot of data to analyze. I've had a long-held desire of being on the grid among some of the world's top drivers, and now it's actually happening. With obvious eagerness, Bortolito stated that, although the preseason test in Bahrain gave the rookie a valuable chance to familiarize himself with his vehicle in the Formula One setting, his work is far from done. Bortolito announced after the test that he would now travel to Switzerland to spend more time at Clenz's headquarters. There, he would work hard in the team simulator, evaluating the data gathered during the 3 days of testing and honing. His preparation for his Formula One debut? But the work doesn't end there, he added. As the countdown to the season opening in Australia progresses, I'll be spending a lot of time in the simulator reviewing what we learned and working with engineers to optimize the car so that I'm as ready as possible for the first race. Despite the difficulties of being a rookie in the most competitive motorsport category in the world, Bortolito's confidence and excitement are clear, and he seems ready to take on the challenge. His testing results may not have been particularly noteworthy, but they served as a strong basis for the journey ahead. And with his positive outlook and perseverance, he hopes to make a big impression in his first race. The big question now is whether Gabriel Bortolito will have a successful rookie season in Formula One. Can he handle the pressure and adjust fast enough to compete for competitive positions in his first year? The excitement surrounding his presence in the sport is undeniable. What do you think? Do you think he has the capacity to surprise and surpass expectations? Let us know in the comments. Greetings, friends, and welcome to another jam-packed video here at Grand Prix, where we bring you the most recent news on the world of Formula One today. We have some exciting news about Red Bull's new car, which is scheduled to receive its first major update this week. Nevertheless, before we get into all the details, I invite you to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our direct and to-the-point daily videos. If you enjoy this content, please remember to like and support our work. As you are already aware, preseason testing sessions are currently taking place in Bahrain, with teams getting 3 days of track action to assess their cars for the 2025 season. As usual, Red Bull's new machine is one of the biggest points of interest. Since the implementation of ground effect regulations, the defending champions have been the most dominant team. However, last season, other teams began to close the performance gap. Red Bull experienced a number of problems, and at one point, Verstappen's title victory was seriously threatened. Many blame these difficulties on the departure of Red Bull's renowned designer, Adrian Newey, whose influence helped the team achieve its winning streak without his direct supervision. Red Bull is already planning a major update for this Friday, the last day of preseason testing. That's right, the first major upgrade for the RB21 is expected to be introduced tomorrow. This package is set to make the car more aggressive. In certain areas, incorporating ideas that the engineers had during the final stages of the car's initial development. The engineering team now has to decide their own direction for car development. When the RB21 was first presented, it didn't show any drastic visual changes compared to its predecessor. Instead, the team focused on making it more predictable and easier to drive, which is a crucial factor given the handling issues they encountered in 2024, with only one day of testing remaining after the updates are introduced. There is some risk involved, but it looks like Red Bull's factory had enough time to design and manufacture these new components so they could be tested before the first race weekend of the season. This strategy will allow the team to compare the data collected from Wednesday and Thursday sessions with the performance of the newly updated car on Friday. The information available suggests that this is not just a minor tweak but a major upgrade that could significantly impact performance. One of the main changes is a redesigned floor, a crucial element for ground effect aerodynamics. Red Bull's choice is bold but potentially beneficial because they won't have much time to collect data, analyze performance, and make the necessary tweaks if any unforeseen issues develop. They may not have enough track time to resolve them before the season opens in Australia. The key question still stands. Was it better for Red Bull to wait for the first few races before making huge changes? Or should they have taken the chance and made the adjustments at the last minute? Please share your opinions in the comments section. What do you think? Do you believe Bordelito will have a significant impact during his debut season? Do you believe he has the capacity to surprise and surpass expectations? Tell us in the comments. Preseason testing in Bahrain has brought back one of the most significant issues from the previous season, the use of flexible wings, especially the rear wings. Onboard footage from several teams shows that some cars still exhibit a noticeable amount of wing movement that goes beyond the permitted limits. This movement is particularly noticeable on long straightaways, where some wings appear to bend slightly or create tiny gaps. The FIA had previously banned such devices, forcing Mclaren to change its design last season. The governing body made it clear that more tests would be conducted to ensure compliance and prevent any teams from exploiting flexible wings for additional performance benefits. However, it seems that the issue has not been completely eradicated during the recent preseason tests. This mechanism, which effectively acts as a mini doctors by reducing aerodynamic drag, gives cars an unfair advantage by allowing them to gain extra straight-line speed. Ferrari and McLaren appear to be the main culprits, having supposedly found ways to keep some degree of wing flexibility, according to Red Bull's chief engineer Pierre Watch, who expressed concerns about the continued use of flexible wings on rival vehicles. Red Bull feels that these teams have benefited greatly from their aerodynamic setups, especially on long straightaways where reducing drag is crucial. But instead of formally protesting with the FIA right away, Red Bull has chosen to hold off until more examinations are completed. Watch clarified that the technical representatives of the governing bodies are expected to perform thorough inspections prior to the start of the season at the Australian Grand Prix. Should the FIA discover any anomalies, teams may have to make last-minute changes to their vehicles, which could have a major effect on their early season performance, as well as from the Spanish Grand Prix, given Formula One's budget cap and the competitive nature of the sport. The FIA is anticipated to impose even stricter scrutiny on flexible wings going forward. Any team found to be in violation of the rules will have to make immediate adjustments, which could result in additional costs and resource allocation that could hinder overall car development throughout the season. Such unforeseen expenditures could have long-term effects. This circumstance calls into doubt the efficacy of the FIA in a number of important ways. The argument over flexible wings is unlikely to end anytime soon because of Silverside and teams' willingness to push the limits of legality. Red Bull's claims are supported by images and telemetry data, and as the season draws near, teams will need to make important decisions about their aerodynamic setups. Will McLaren and Ferrari decide to make changes before facing possible fines? Or will they risk sticking with their present designs? Furthermore, how will the FIA address these claims? With only a few days until the season's first race, all eyes will be on the FIA's technical inspections and any potential protests. Until then, speculation will continue to grow, and the paddock remains divided on whether flexible wings should be a concern for the 2025 season. Will stricter enforcement finally put an end to flexible wing exploitation? Or will teams continue finding ways to gain an advantage through creative